Donald is one of our club's most recent DTMs under the old education system. DTM, for our guests who do not know, means Distinguished Toastmaster and is the highest designation in the education program that you can achieve, meaning that you have accomplished quite a significant number of levels of speeches and leadership skills across both meeting level and area level. Donald's speech title tonight is Why is Shakespeare Important? Please welcome Donald Balyaba.
To be or not to be? That's the question. Have you heard that before? I'm sure everyone have heard that before. In one of his plays, Shakespeare said, all the world is the stage, and all the men and women merely players. They all have the entrances and the exits. And one man in his time plays many parts. I've always been fascinated about people who came before us, people who did such amazing things that we today are able to enjoy this world. And Shakespeare is by far one of my favorites. So last month, I went to England to fulfill one of my lifetime goals and dreams, which is to visit the town where Shakespeare was born. Why Shakespeare is important? There is no one or very few people in this world that have impacted this world the way this man has. 38 plays, 144 sonnets, and most importantly, new words. 1,700 new words that are made of or created by Shakespeare. We use them all every day. We don't even know that they're all coming from Shakespeare. Like addiction, eventful, fashionable, words like that, uncomfortable, eyeballs. We use those words and they go on and on coming from Shakespeare. So, where Shakespeare was born, that's the birthplace, this birthplace in Stratford, Avon. That's the city. 2 hours by train from London. You see a lot of people going there for the same reasons, because they want to know where this amazing guy is coming from. You expect to go somewhere where you see a kingdom with castles. No. And that's maybe one of the first lessons that you can learn from Shakespeare's life. Number one, start with what you have. His dad was living in the city nearby. His grandpa was a farmer, and he just wanted to do better. So he left the farm and came to Stratford-upon-Avon and started making gloves. He was a glove maker. He bought this house. This house was actually his office at the same time. That was the bedroom, and I saw the bed. Why I showed the bed? Because the bed was the most expensive item at the time, and it was very, very important for people to make sure nothing happens to the bed. So Shakespeare may have actually been born on the floor, because the bed was the most important item in the house, so there is no way to take a risk to have blood or any type of things on the bed. So this was, it might have been the little bed from of Shakespeare at this time. Why, how Shakespeare grew up? The small city, the dad was a poor man, but he was also helping, a civil servant. So he was helping the city in many different tasks, and because of that, Shakespeare was able to go to school for free. Grammar school, learning mainly religion, Latin, and Greek all day long. If you look at this play, and it's a real character of depiction of what his life was, maybe he didn't like it. So by the age of 13, when his dad actually followed him from there and took him to work with him, he actually liked it. So he was home helping his dad as a glove maker. By the age of 18, he met a girl. She became pregnant. She was 26 years old, not older than him. And he was forced to be married because of the situation. Forced, or depending of the story that the book or the literature you're reading. Some will say he was forced to, some will say he actually was in love with her. He moved to London. He had 2 kids. He moved to London and became a bookkeeper. That was his first job. That's also what maybe the second lesson here is you have to be creative. He was a bookkeeper because he wanted to actually be on the play, but back then girls didn't have, they were not allowed, women were not allowed to be on the play. So young men were actually playing the role of women, but he was 25, so it was too late for him. And he wasn't as talented to be a main character. So he became a big bookkeeper, and the bookkeeper was the one keeping the plays, giving the parts to the actors, and he was also writing. So that's how he started writing and actually selling his writing to the play directors. The third lesson I want to learn from Shakespeare, that his grave, he went back home, he was buried to that Trinity Church, and died when he was 52. In just 52 years old, he passed, but left a legacy that is living. This is 400 years ago now that is passed, but we're still talking about him. Singers like Taylor Swift, the Beatles, Metallica, and you name it, everyone is still using his work. His plays are the most played and used on everywhere in the world. Why someone can come in just 52 years old, 52 years in this planet and impact the world this much? He said all the world is the stage and we're all players. If you are all players, what's your character? What are you playing now? This is maybe a challenge for all of us to say, hey, taking advantage of your time and see how you can impact the world and leave a legacy. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Donald.